let's talk about this. Like, why does a community help? We talked about the downsides of like common, like networking, why networking usually fails flat, right? There's no reciprocity. I'd argue that community, if it's not formed correctly, can do the same thing. There's a lot of people that think they have community, but really they have echo chambers, or they have a group of friends. And our friends, we love them, but they don't always give the best advice. When you look at this, how does community help? And this is the question, Jake. How does community help? Or how can it hurt if you don't take the necessary precautions to find the right one? We're going to go you, Dan, and then Ali. Jake, kick it off.
Man, this is something that I think is super important to distinguish, right? Like, and it's becoming this idea of having a healthy community, and also it's becoming very popular. And I think it's becoming popular in a dangerous way, where people are just trying to surround themselves with echo chambers, and they're dressing it up as like self-love or self-compassion and all these things that are very important. You should, right? But you need to have some frustration points. You need to have some friction. You need to have a little bit, like, think about some of the closest relationships in your life. Mine, I've got my wife. I've got some best buddies that have been lifelong friends of mine, and like they're brothers now at this point, right? And they get to that level organically, not through always agreeing with me, or like, we're not like having it's not all rainbows and butterflies all the time. Like, we have our arguments, and we have our friction points, and we have our disagreements. And I think that is super healthy with the relationship, and that's in the personal side. And it's just as important on the professional side too. If you're working in a community, or if you're part of a group and all they're doing is being your cheerleader, that's not going to help you professionally. That's not going to elevate you to the level you're trying to get to. That's not going to advance your career. You're not going to get the scars needed to lead other people. Like, if all you're doing is in an echo chamber, and it's a soft one at that, or it's one that just totally agrees with you, it's not going to be a healthy thing. You're not going to get what you want. You're just going to maybe feel a little bit better while you're on the call, and you're just going to spin your wheels the rest of the time. So there's a healthy way to do that, right? Like, it doesn't have to be like this thing where you just get argumentative with somebody on a call all the time. Like, that's not what you want. Sometimes you do need somebody just to let you know, like, hell yeah, man, you're doing the right thing. It's just like, keep digging, right? Or like, lay that next brick, or whatever, just to let you know, like, you're doing the right things. It's a grind right now, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, and here's why. Here's where I can see from my bird's eye view looking in, right? Like, so it's a healthy balance. You don't want to just get beat up all the time, because that sucks too. But you can't just have somebody just loving on you all the time either. That's not a healthy relationship from both personally and professionally.
Dan, what about you?
I think for me, time is so precious. I've been in mentorship and sort of quote networking groups before, where it's basically you get in and it's one route for everybody. Okay, this is the roadmap that everybody's going to take. If it works for you, great. But if it doesn't, then who knows? But that doesn't come up in the in the calls beforehand. So what I think is key is, if your time is as precious as mine is, it's finding the right group, because that then allows you the security and the safety to go, hey, this is where I'm at. This is what I need help with. And then the people around you will see that you're sharing, you're being open and being honest, and they'll help. And that's huge, because that's when you actually have a community, right? When everyone's kind of brooding for each other and trying to help each other out.
And these concepts shouldn't really be foreign to people, right? Before, like, even though the term mastermind might be distasteful, right? There's Rotary clubs in damn near every city where local business owners get together. There's things like Toastmasters, where people it's just every community, at whether it's the government level, whether it's like a local level, whatever, there's millions of examples of this. And you want diversity. Why would I join a Rotary? My brother owns a restaurant, right? And it's a breakfast restaurant. In that Rotary club, it's not all restaurant owners, but it's other people that provide a valuable service to other people, whatever that their delivery is. And like, you need that perspective as well. And you need that support. Say, yeah, been there, here we go. Or this is another way to look at it. Ali, you're up.
Yeah, I'll just add on to that point, right? Like, for me, I got to be in a room with conversations that I'd never even experienced before. Like, I was somebody who was just a coach. I had not experienced much of the business world yet. And so getting to even just listen to people converse about how to build an LLC, or what does it cost to set this up? Or how do I get a lawyer to help me with a contract? These are questions and conversations I really wouldn't have been privy to until I had been there and done that. And so it's almost like it's a proxy for experience in a way, right? It's like an initial exposure to some of these questions that I had never even thought of asking prior to this experience. And, I'm just as guilty as the next person. Like, I have a certain person in my life that I'll go to for specific questions because it's confirmation bias. So like, if I want, a loving, very sympathetic ear, I'll go to my dad. If I want somebody to tell it to me straight, I'll go to my mom. If I want somebody to BS with about the coaching profession, I'm going to Molly, my friend. I go to these people purposely because I know their responses I'm going to get. And so I really need a community that's going to push me to stay open-minded and curious, because that's a huge value of mine. And it allows me to uphold that value essentially in my life, because I'm now getting pushed to think about things from different ways, engage in lateral thinking, and ways that I wouldn't necessarily do in my day-to-day because it's uncomfortable.